Hello, my dear students. Good morning. Welcome to my channel. This morning, I would like to share to you one of the significant care and management practices in crop production, which is weeding. At the end of this video, you will be able to gain information on the nature of weeding, some weeds which we can see in most gardens, methods of controlling weeds, and of course the time of weeding. Let us start with the nature and purpose of weeding. First, I would like to clarify to you some significant words in relation to weeding. But of course, let's take the short definition of weeding. When you are talking about weeding, this is the removal of weeds in the field. Weeds are considered as unwanted plants. These are not necessary plants, and as such, we need to remove it for two major reasons. As what I've said a while ago, there are other terms associated to weeding. We have rugging. Rugging is the removal of defective plants in the field. Sometimes we remove volunteer plants. It can be considered as rugging. But the term rugging applies not only to the growing of crops or plants, but also even in seedling production or while the plants are still in the uh, seed bed under seedling stage. We need to remove these defective plants in such a way that we can provide room for proper growth and development of the seedlings. Next is thinning. This is the removal of some plants um, to make room for others. Same purpose for uh, proper growth and development. Common in the seedbed when we produce seedlings. You have to thin. You have to remove other seedlings so that they will not be overcrowding and to make room for others to grow properly. Then we have also pruning. This is the cutting of branches or twigs which are overgrown in order to increase productivity, and this is very much common in fruit trees and in some parts of the country, the prune, mangoes, and other fruit trees, not just uh, primarily for the purpose of increasing productivity. In order for the roots or for the nutrients of the plants to be carried to the different parts which are mm, important. Let's proceed now. So these are the different terms associated to wedding. Let us proceed now to the reason why we need to control weeds. I identified here two reasons. Number one, it competes with the main crop in terms of sunlight, water, and nutrients. Very true. We need to control weeds or even defective plants, even small plants, in order to refrain from mm, the competition to or with the main crop. For instance, you planted corn in a particular garden or area. There are some instances when weeds will suddenly grow in the area where you planted corn. So because of these weeds, they can compete with our corn plant, and so we need to remove them. Competition in terms of sunlight, competition in terms of water, competition in terms of nutrients, which is very critical. Okay, then we have it become the host plants of insect pests. It's true. When there are weeds, there are some weeds where they are attractive to insect pests. And since they are attractive, they serve as host plants. Then, uh, in the end, these insect pests will attack your plant. So we need to remove them. Okay, so these are the primary reasons why we need to control weeds, and of course controlling weeds will result to high productivity in your uh, endeavor, shall we say, crop production and gardening. Okay, let's proceed now to the methods of controlling weeds. I identified here um, six methods. We have preventive method. The most common is using physically pure seeds, because there are some cases wherein if we will uh, plant seeds containing mixture of other or of the seeds of weeds and other varieties or other plants. Um, this will be uh, this will be planted or can be planted in the field, particularly those seeds of weeds which are very small. So we need to prevent them. We do proper selection of the seeds to be grown, which actually physically pure seeds. Then we have cultural practices or cultural method, I should say. Cultural method is, of course, a method of um, controlling weeds by strategizing on your culture, and one of which is crop rotation. So, for instance, this year you will plant corn, the other year you will plant uh, sweet potato, then the other year vegetables. That's how you will, and that's how you will strategize, and that's cultural control. And in this case, um, you can control the weeds, particularly if you will plant kamote. But of course, we cannot say that there's 100% non-existence of weeds in the field. Then the next is biological control. This is using other organisms. There are some instances wherein we plant or we use insects to control weeds. But I think this is not common. Sometimes, if we will use insects, they are the one destroying our main crop or crops. Then we have also mechanical control. This is very much common in large scale crop production or uh, farming. You use contractor in controlling weeds. Then next is chemical method. This is using herbicides. You just mix herbicide to your or to a water, and of course put that in the sprayer, then sprayed it to the field. If possible, do not you have to escape the main crops to be sprayed. It might be that the main crop or crops will be affected if you will spray herbicide or herbicides, yes. And of course, spraying chemicals is somehow discouraged. However, if we cannot really control weeds, particularly in large scale farming, we used to uh, spray herbicides. This is very much common in rice production. If we cannot control the weeds in the area or in the field, we result to be using herbicides. Then somehow effective, but it really influence the plants or other crops, particularly if you were not able to select the right herbicides to control the weeds. Then we have the last is manual, very much common, just hand pulling. uprooting it through your hand, or shall we say, using bolo, that would be enough. And you are doing the manual. And this is very much common in small scale production, home gardening, school gardening. Um, Manual is um, advisable. Advisable. Okay. So these are the different methods in controlling weeds. There are some implements which may be used, but the most common is particularly this manual method, the grab hoe, the the and other tools and uh, machineries uh, like first I mentioned hand tractor and the other one grab hoe. So there are other um, tools and implements which you can use in controlling weights. Then the last is time of the day of weeding. Actually, weeding can be done anytime except when raining. You can do it uh, early in the morning or even late in the morning or early in the afternoon or late in the afternoon or even at night you can you can do weeding um, for as long as of course your resistance is okay, but the best is early in um, the morning and late in the afternoon because um, the temperature is low. uh, the sun is about to set in the afternoon and in the morning about to rise, and it's vitamin D for the farmers or for us. Okay, but I always remind my grad students even before when I was teaching in the high school that refrain from um, weeding the garden or the field, particularly in vegetable productions during or when raining, because if that should be the case, you are promoting. If you will do during this particular period, you are promoting soil erosion. And when it happens, the fertility of the soil will be uh, reduced. And so it's it's advisable that you should do weeding during good weather condition. Okay, I hope my dear students you get something from this um, video, even if this is just a support to your uh, modules, and the references provided to you during the early part of this semester. By the way, these are samples of I forgot to show to you these examples. We have nutsedge, this common, this one, crabgrass, the lamb's quarter, and pigweed. This like spinach. So these are some examples, and if you have your internet connection, please explore. There are several kinds of weeds which you can see, and of course part of your uh, stacking of knowledge. So thank you very much, and God bless you all.